So this is talk number R12, step 4. This is the fourth and last step and also the most important one. Today is 5th December 2015. Time is exactly 4 p.m. USA East Time. And I consider this moment very auspicious because towards the end of this talk I am going to reveal the darshan of God Almighty which I had in the year 2009. Again, today also I have made out notes, and where required I'll try to read out from that because it will be saving time. By the way, I have used the word darshan. Somehow I find that this Hindi word darshan is the very appropriate word for describing such a great event like meeting the God Almighty or meeting any divine body. Although there is a beautiful equivalent English word vision, but vision encompasses many other type of sightings, not necessarily only divine sighting. Therefore, I'll be using the word darshan. In this fourth and last step, a very little physical effort of few minutes of meditation has to be done. So it is unlike last two, step 2 and 3, where no physical effort is involved. In this little physical effort of meditation is involved, and the rest is work of the mind, for which we all have full freedom from God Almighty. So I think it is not a difficult step. Others also, those who are traveling in this path of spirituality, they would like to put even greater efforts for this step, for meeting the God Almighty. To take this step, please sit at an appropriate place, on floor or chair or on sofa or on your bed. So there is no restriction on that also. Just like you see, in one of the talks I said there is no restriction on eating habits and this and that thing, etc. Those things are immaterial in such big events. Just reflect back on your life, especially good achievements while scaling the height of humanity. So just recollect, reflect back what you did. It is required so that you feel confident that you are really fit for God Almighty's darshan. Revisit your win on few stubborn weaknesses affecting others. Recollect some of your good work done. Recollect the knowledge and wisdom you gain in step 3, that is, when you are becoming friendly with God Almighty and watching His creations. In this process, try to remember the vast knowledge you got about the vast expanse of God Almighty, which has several varieties, and His design for all His creations. Now look back as to how you self-realized His truths and started living on the same which changed you. This is also very important. Just look back. It will give you confidence. Feel God Almighty's design everywhere, in all its creations and various events. Because you might have self-realized God Almighty also, so it should not be difficult because you will be finding God Almighty everywhere. All this will make you confident that God Almighty will certainly give you darshan. However, while looking back, you may find that something still needs some effort from your side. This will happen because of the grace of the God Almighty, because this way He is trying to remind you that before meeting me, please complete this also. So make a mental resolve that okay, you will do that and do that sincerely, but you need not get up after having sat for the meditation. Remain seated for meditation and now start meditation by closing your eyes. And sit daily for this meditation for a duration of 5 to 25 minutes. Do not try to prolong it. But anyway, if it gets prolonged, don't let it go beyond another 10 minutes. So when you have closed your eyes, just look at the screen you see towards your eyes. So this screen has to be seen. It is a blank screen, and do not put anything there from your imagination. But when you start looking at this screen, you will find so many things which are coming and going. But these are of no consequence. These are reflection of your thoughts or maybe something else. So if this thing happening and it is not getting blank, just start thinking yourself. Some good deeds, some other things, good things. So once you do that, these inconsequential sights on your screen may go away. Then stop your thoughts. You have to try to stop. I mean, the moment you say that I will stop, it doesn't stop, but try to stop your thoughts. Become thoughtless and watch the blank screen. When you start getting blank screen and you start remaining thoughtless for a few minutes, which may be say 2-3 minutes, then request God Almighty to give you darshan. Very respectfully say, God, please show yourself to me. Be kind to me. Like that, whatever words you want to use, you can use. And stop your imagination on this that God may appear in this shape. Do not reflect any shape on your screen out of your imagination. Let it remain blank. Because when God Almighty, He wants to show you, He will show Himself in His own way, in His own shape, which probably you might have not heard or seen before. And anybody else who has had darshan, probably he would be having seen some other shape, because God Almighty, you see, who has created billions and trillions of things, He can create all those things. So can He not create His shape in those billions and trillions of forms? Is it necessary that everybody should see the same face? You see, God Almighty is not a deity. Deity has a fixed shape and size and whatever it is. God Almighty is shapeless. It is mixed in all its creations. I mean, all the creations have its power. So He can take any shape. Therefore, please do not imagine any particular shape. He is not a deity. Deities have a shape. So, please don't do that. And keep on meditating, eyes closed, and see the blank screen. But if you start getting so many useless things there, after some time you may stop. Maybe by this time you might have spent only 10 minutes, 12 minutes, but beyond that, if you are still getting those things, you can stop. And get up and start doing your routine work. Leave it for next day. Now keep on doing it every day. If you are forced to skip because of some reason for a few days, don't worry too much. Some people, they lament, this happened, that happened, I could not see it and all that, etc. You don't have to. In the God's domain, you see, you have a lot of freedom. So you don't have to worry on that. And as soon as possible, you should resume that session of meditation every day again. You have to keep on doing this short meditation for a few years, maybe about 3 years. And then you will get Almighty's darshan. Few may reach this stage in lesser time if they have achieved greater height than 80% in the scale of humanity and have used their freedom of thought for not doing many bad things. And that their mind is almost full garden, no garbage yard there. Those not getting darshan should introspect and try to find out as to what is lacking, what is still remaining to be done. If they are able to find out, they should better start working on that and correct those things, start doing further good things. So this has to be done. Then, you see, they need not worry. I mean, they will reach that stage. Please know that the scenario of God Almighty's door, that place where the door is just outside the door, is such that there is a large number of crowd. I mean, large number of people in the crowd waiting to meet him. They are all those souls, persons who have achieved very good height in the scale of humanity. Here, by the way, there is no queue system which we are accustomed to, where in the public service we stand in the queue and first come, first is served. Here, a crowd will be standing wherever they find a place or sitting, and any one of them may be picked up for meeting God Almighty. The scenario is like that. It is a revelation, my dear friends. So, he also will be one of them. And it depends upon your deeds. You may be called immediately, or maybe you have to be kept waiting. So it doesn't matter. The fact is that all these people in the crowd, they have reached the door of God Almighty. Do you think it is a small thing? Can everybody reach there? Could you imagine what may be the percentage of total human beings on the earth who will be reaching there? It will be 0.0 and something. I will not go for further guess. It is very less. So they are rare personalities and you are one of them. So please be happy. Don't be depressed if you are not being called. If the chance is that most of them are not being called, and especially those who achieved that stage with a faster speed, because you see, on this earth where the God Almighty has sent all of us, there is a definite volume of work which has to be done. The quality may be wonderful. You see, quality and quantity. Quality is okay. You have reached very good height. But the quantity is also to be completed. Suppose you have to speak good with 100 persons and you have done that thing only for 10%, 20%, 30%. So that job is still pending. That is a good job which you have to do. Although they all will rate you very high. But still, you see, you have to complete that given job. You have to do it for 100 people. So this is also one of the reasons that volume has not yet been achieved, and therefore also you may be kept waiting. So this has to be kept in mind. So let all of such persons be lights of the society and keep on doing further good work. They need not be disheartened as they are very near to Him. Now please listen as to how God Almighty gave His darshan to me. Now the time is 4:15 p.m. exactly. One day in January 2009, when I was meditating and requesting Him to give me His divine darshan, within 5-7 minutes, I saw a big star on my blank screen. It was covering whole earth and was dreadful. It was really dreadful. Then suddenly I heard a voice. It was in Hindi. It said, "तुम मानोगे नहीं, देखो मैं यह हूँ." तुम मानोगे नहीं, देखो मैं यह हूँ. In English, it means that you will not stop. Look, this is me. While he was speaking like this, he showed himself. He appeared out of that star. And it was a great, great occasion for me, my dear friends. So he showed himself, remained there for, I think, quite a few seconds, and then disappeared, and immediately after that I also came out of my meditation. This is the greatest event of my life, and it will be so for all others who meet God Almighty. It was after this that very gracefully God Almighty informed me that the shape He showed me may not be same for others. What He showed me was for myself. Due to this information, I will not describe this shape. Naturally, it should not be described. It seems sensible also, because if I describe His shape, you may imagine the same shape and start seeing the same when you are asking for His darshan. And if you get satisfied by getting the same shape, which may not be true for you, my dear friends, you will be depriving yourself from His real darshan. So please don't mind that I am not describing that particular shape of God Almighty, because that is given to me. If you just have His darshan and sometimes meet me, discuss with me, tell me what you saw, then probably I will tell about that thing also, and we can discuss it together. So my dear friends, please go ahead and try to get success, because this was the final step, and now in other 2 talks I will be discussing as to what happens after his darshan, and then last one will be summing up all that revelations and conclusion. And after that also, if some other talk is required, that will be prefixed as T for talk, T 15 hours. So up to R 14, these will be revelations. So wish you all the very best. Thank you.